The most important days of a man's life is the day he was born and the day he finds out why. As a man, the hard reality is nobody's coming to save you. Nobody cares about you until you can provide value. Boys become men once they realize this. You're born with no value. They say women are born with value, they must preserve it. A man being born with no value is value in itself, because you can create anything. You can become anything. Be the man that your family needs. Be the man that you will want your daughter to be with in the future. Be the man that your wife can depend on, your kids can depend on. If you don't have a family, your mother, your father, your grandparents, your siblings, whomever. Be the man that everybody calls when they need help. A man does not like to be told he's worthless, but men put themselves in a position to be viewed as worthless. It's in our nature to compete. You don't have to be evil to compete, but you have to work. And it's not necessarily working the person next to you, it's working the person in front of you. The only person that can stop you is you. That's the person in front of you. That's the only person holding you back. Bob Marley said every big man was once a little baby. So it doesn't matter how tough you think you are, you're not tough at all. A 5-year-old can fight. Stop trying to prove you know how to fight. Prove you can win at life. Because as we can see, the numbers don't lie. The majority of people are losing. And the majority of men are losing because of themselves. The 3 biggest mistakes men of all races, of all ethnicities make is wasted time, wasted money, and wasted potential. Now, who do you think is the reason for that? Who do you think is responsible for that? Men. Men are responsible for a lot of things. That's the harsh reality. We're born with nothing, but we create everything. I love the part where provide, protect, give provision, lead. But the part about protecting, I thought about this. You wouldn't have to protect, because if every man was focused on providing and leading and becoming better, there would be no man out there to cause harm to another man's family. But you have these assholes, they used to call them peasants in a time where kingdoms was around. The kings and queens and other women will call them peasants. The women would rather sleep with the king even though he was married with kids than to marry a peasant. See, you want to walk around and instead of doing the work to get better, you want to cause harm. That's why men have to protect their families. But imagine if every man was focusing on grinding, working, getting better. Then you would have men who would come together with other men to build even bigger empires that they can leave for their families altogether. See, we're worrying about sleeping with another man's wife. We're not worrying about building a better life for ourselves so we can give to our children and our wives. A lot of men love to buy their wife whatever they want. I probably can't buy my wife a private jet, but I can buy her the car she wants. I can move into the house, buy the house that she wants. Now, we're a little bit more responsible with money. We'd rather be able to own some shit outright with cash than to just take out a loan, because we treat ourselves like our own bank. But to be in that position, I had to be the man that thinks like that. Not all women will think like that. Sometimes you have to lead your woman. You have to court her. But that goes back to men being responsible, extremely disciplined. How you do one thing is how you do everything. If you can't get up and work out and keep yourself in shape, you're not going to get up and lead a woman. I don't give a damn how fine she is. You can pull her today. She'll leave you tomorrow. And it ain't her fault. I mean, she made a choice. She got to be held accountable. But what did you do? If a woman leaves you because she see you're incapable, it's only so much anybody can take. I wouldn't want my daughters to be the wife of a man who she's given him years, and through the years he still couldn't figure it out. Not because he didn't have the capabilities. He didn't have the discipline. He didn't have the energy, the effort to go out and learn, to focus, to fail, learn from his failures. He was in fear of what people would think. A man cannot be in fear of what people think. I make these videos because I feel like it, because I think it needs to be said. If you don't agree, you can swipe. But I don't give a damn about who don't like it. I'm not in that much fear to care if somebody get in my comment section to tell me to shut my big mouth. I'm going to talk with my big mouth because I can walk the walk. My wife don't work. We're doing fine. 6-figure man talking here, working my way to 7. I don't have to prove nothing. I don't have to prove anything to you, but you go look at my videos. I do this daily. I'm working right now. I just stopped to make a video. Sometimes I take a break, I go spend time with my family. Sometimes I turn this camera on and just speak my mind. I don't ask anybody for anything. Ironically, people always ask me, do I need help? But they know I don't need help. They can't understand how can me, and only a few men like me, thrive in a society where everybody's struggling. That's because men ain't being men. Learn early. Do it early. Everybody that's great at something started early. The great investor we know today, Warren Buffett, started investing when he was 7. The greatest boxers, athletes, football players, basketball players, swimmers, whatever it is, mountain climbers, they started doing it when they was early. If you didn't do it early, understand that, okay, it's like life not being fair. That doesn't give us the excuse to treat people unfair. If you wasn't taught something early, if you have kids, it's your responsibility to teach your kids something early. Teach them what you wish you learned early. That's a man's job. Sometimes your woman have to be taught too. You teach your woman. It's not about you just finding some woman that turns you on attractively. Yeah, she gonna have you bricked up. She gonna make you stand up. What else can you do to make sure she is on your path? She's on the same path as you. She can cooperate with how you operate. Some of y'all turned on by just a woman's body. You have to be turned on by a woman's mindset. Not her just being smart. Her being smart enough to understand when you're saying something that is more significant than what she's saying, or feelings, because women are in their feelings. She will sit herself down and say, okay, I have to lead. I have to let this man lead. I have to follow. She's not going to bitch and cry and nag is what men like to say. That's natural too. Sometimes women can't articulate themselves, so they do that. We call it bitching and crying and nagging. She's just emotional. You have to be the man with the masculinity and the testosterone to say, hey, look, listen, no matter what she's saying or crying about or yelling or nagging or, which I like to say, bitching, you can be the man and you can lead even in that situation. It takes a lot of hard work, don't it? The hard reality of a man is everything is hard, but that's the beauty in it. They say life sucks, then you die. Why don't you live the greatest life you can before you pass on? Old ways don't work in a new age. Some of you guys feel like you're going to diss your parents. You love your parents. But you cannot do what your parents did. You don't live in that time. You're not being raised in that time. You're not raising your children in that time. You have to go a different route. It's okay. Tell them you love them. When they talk, listen. And when you leave, you go out there and you do what it is you said you was going to do. Because at the end of the day, it's going to take time. There are no 20-year-old generals. Once a man is in his 30s, 35, he's at the prime. Sometimes you don't hit your peak until you're 40. You have to work out from when you're young, and you have to keep working out. You have to focus and grind from when you're young, and you have to keep focused, and you have to stay on your grind. You have to get better starting early, and as you get older, you still get better. And then once you reach the part where you can't grow anymore, you're old, and that's a beautiful thing because not everybody gets to grow old. You pass it down to the generation after you, and they'll keep passing it down to the generation after them. It's always each one teach one. Stop asking why. Why men have to do that? Why men have to do this? Just do the work. Women like certain things. If you want women, like you know you do, don't lie to yourself, you're going to have to do certain things to attract women. You know you get in shape to attract women. You know you get money to attract women. But make sure you're attracting the right woman. Just because she's not considered a whore doesn't mean she's not going to want a man who has money. That gives her comfort. She wants to be in the house taking care of the kids. She wants to let the rugrats run around, changing diapers, cooking and cleaning. Most women don't want to tell you that because it's looked down upon. That's how we do it over here. I don't care what you say. I'll put it out there. My wife ain't got to move a muscle. If she wants to work, cool. We will always sit down and make the decision that's more beneficial for all of us. Me, her, and the kids. Not just her, not just me. We're a family. That's how we move. We need each other. We operate together. I do my part, she does hers. You can look down on that all you want. People just jealous. A lot of people want that. Men gotta provide that. Money and women is what we use to judge success. Men gotta get over it. And money and women, you can let it use you or you know how to use it. You can let it control you or you know how to control it. It's no other way. People can get mad at how I just said it. I don't care. Since the beginning of time, money, women, power. Not everybody who has money, women, and power are evil. Some men, majority of men, you only need one woman. Because if you're trying to gain money and power, you don't have time to be running around with all these women. Alcohol, women, and leverage will ruin you. You can have too much alcohol, you can have too much women, you can have too much money. Meaning you don't know what to do with it because it's coming in so fast. Something that's gained quickly can go quickly. You want to take your time with everything. That's why when you take your time to get that woman you like, you take the time to make that money you want to make, you take the time to get to that certain level, it's more bittersweet, because if it came just like that, you won't appreciate it as much. A man must be disciplined through all aspects of life. Nobody wants to talk about discipline because nobody's disciplined. The hard reality is a man must be disciplined. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to do the work for you. The more you sit back and dwell on your misfortunes, the more you allow it to control you. A man must do the work. Get to work.